Good morning. We are cooking. We are cooking. Woke up, got a sale, and the sale is with this one Rolly product. It's literally the ad and product we listed pretty much yesterday. This product's been on our store for a little over a week now. Finally threw up a campaign for it, and now it's really just a matter of seeing, is this thing going to be profitable? Is it going to be sustainable? And are we actually going to make any sort of money with it? You know what I mean? So finally a sale, a little over a week later, which was a freaking pain in the ass, but nonetheless, it's a sale. As you can see here, we got some debriefs with our agent. Our current product research skill was a bottleneck, so it identified to pretty much create a new, stronger skill for it. I believe it. So it imported some products, it pre-built some campaigns, and I came into the Obsidian to look at the product research skill, and it pretty much built this whole entire skill here. I am not too sure, quite honestly, if it's gonna actually be working or anything, because it just seems like it kind of just built out a sort of document to follow. But I'm honestly not too sure how it plans on doing all this stuff, whether it's through APIs or whatever. I'm just trying to back the hell off a little bit more and see if the AI actually figures out something more efficient and better than what I've been proposing for it to do. So that's kind of curious. If you're not already kind of in the know, but we have multiple kinds of agents running here. So we have multiple kinds of agents, and you know, this is just one of them here. We have the reviewer late agent, which 2 days ago I believe it was, where I presented how this is going to be a sort of middle layer for the jobs, and let me actually draw it for you to help you understand. Because the thing here, how I've realized people treat OpenClaw, they think it's this thing where you know you set this you have this bot, and it pretty much it can do something 24/7, right? Like it'll do here, it'll go here, it'll go here. But that's not necessarily the case. It mimics sort of this sentience and autonomy, but that's not how these bots are right now. Right now, they are extremely powerful when you give it a tool. You know what I mean? So just imagine this is a tool. And the more tools you give it, it becomes more powerful. So this could be for, like, say, Google, this could be for meta ads, it could be for Shopify, kind of like what we got here. It could be for checking your email. The more tools it has, say it had like 20 plus tools, this bot is incredibly intelligent. You also equip it with, say, memory. If you equip it with, say, some sort of skills, so on every new session, it has these tools, right? But that's not really enough. Where people really find the most value, and in my opinion, where things are becoming truly autonomous and people are feeling this is sort of like AGI or agents, I don't think we're there yet with OpenClaw, is with these things called cron jobs. So cron jobs are basically these tasks, kind of like what you saw here, where you can set it on periodic basis. So this runs pretty much every 2 hours. So you can see here 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. At some point this was oh, this is a different agent. This is my daytime agent. At some point, this was running literally every hour, but it got set to every 2 hours for now. Because I'm a little back off of it. But anyway, I'm digressing here. So the cron job is you set the bot to wake up on intervals, and you pretty much feed the bot different sorts of prompts. Prompts, you can either tell the bot to spawn in an isolated environment or into the main timeline of wherever you're mainly getting messages. So in this case, Telegram. And the people that find the most value off of it is when it spawns on a certain interval, so say 1 hour through like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. In my case, it's 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and it does a job. So these jobs, it just does things. But the bottleneck I realized is if you don't give it goals or tasks to complete, then it doesn't know what the hell it's doing. So let me show you actually something. Yesterday, we pretty much created this shit, and I hooked up my Trello board as a tool for my bot. Now we're not using this. Right now, all this is in Obsidian, the task board. And quite honestly, I might just move over to Trello because it's just easier for me at least. But if you give this thing tasks, it then knows, okay, like these are all the tasks it's got to do. Like imagine there's like all these tasks. It'll just wake up, go to the tasks, move it either into progress, into done. If it's done, into blocked for me to check it out. If I approved it, it goes here. It can it can then pretty much say it's done or for review. You know what I mean? So it has like these different whatever the hell these are called, right? It can put them in these statuses, and then it knows how to execute. But the thing is, the major reframe is when you realize that these agents, you have to give them goals. If you give them goals, so imagine this is a goal target, and then you create a task board. So like, okay, these are all the tasks that your agent can do. You know what I mean? So when the agent spawns, it checks these tasks. It also understands what the goal is, and then it understands how to prioritize these tasks. Now, this is like a worker agent on a, say, like an hourly basis. It goes here and it picks what makes the most sense. And then once it's done its job, it does its thing, it logs it into the memory. So imagine this is a brain, blah, blah, blah. So on the next spawn, it reads the recent memory, it reads the goals, it reads the tasks, figures out what the priority is, and then it just executes. Boom, boom, boom. It executes these tasks. So this is the framework I set up in my Obsidian and in my AI's database, so it knows what the hell it's doing. I'm giving it structure. Now, the concept that I was talking about here, like what this reviewer agent is, now there's this like, imagine this is a hawk, a bird. That's a terrible bird. But what the hawk is basically another agent that spawns every 3 to 4 hours. Spawns 3 to 4 hours. And what it does is it analyzes, okay, the memory, it analyzes the goals, it analyzes the tasks, and it takes everything together, and then it goes here to the task board and it reprioritizes everything. So this is just getting filled up with a bunch of junk, with a bunch of tasks that are already done. It just archives it, and it either kills projects that are just a waste of time. It It reprioritizes something, or it just mentions what it did to clean it up. So when this guy spawns in the next hour or so, to work on the most efficient thing, and then it also updates the memory to be like what's been reviewed, what's been killed. Because think about it, I'm the reviewer here now, so I'm trying to outsource and remove myself from the whole entire process. Because when I come in here and I see this thing doing, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? It's pissing me off. It's doing some bullshit. But when this reviewer agent comes in, the whole idea here is just to kind of like look at everything from a third person perspective and be like, okay, are you going in the right direction? Are you actually getting shit done? Is this actually going towards the direction I wanted to? And if so, yes, then you just leave everything and you just update the memory. But if not, it goes into this task board, it looks at the goals, and it just has a simple prompt. Like, look at the priorities. Are we getting to our goal? Is everything we're doing getting us to our goal? And if it's not, then reprioritize. Because I realize when this thing just wakes up and just goes and works, sometimes like it'll do its thing, but at some point it's just creating bullshit ideas. You know what I mean? Just BS tasks. Like it's just creating research documents. It's creating these things. No, like I don't want research documents. Put in here actual files and work to do that can actually move the ball forward. And that's the whole point of this reviewer agent. But yeah, kind of went on a tangent there, but nonetheless, that's kind of like the philosophy behind it. Can't stress enough, but if you are not careful, this thing will literally wipe your shit. Because my tasks thing that I was talking about, it literally got wiped overnight. And I mean, this is not what it looks like before. It said something else. I'm trying to make this a master sheet, but it was literally like just wiped, totally wiped. All the important tasks that I had created by the bot, pretty much wiped it and removed all the things we had like the past few days you saw there. It's a bit unfortunate because we had all these deliverables, we had all these things there, and I thought we were making progress, but now it's like, what the hell? You know, I mean, I woke up and this thing is totally wiped. at least the goals task, or the goals, primary goals, it wasn't wiped here. So thankfully that is still doing its own thing. But yeah, nonetheless, the tasks got wiped, so the whole entire board. So I mean, I'm not gonna complain about it, but the only thing we can do here is just move forward. And what I'm gonna do with this is just pretty much move forward, uh, get this bot into here, and it's already migrating some stuff. As you can see, it's already adding and migrating stuff, but we're just going to use this process here, and we're going to use this as the primary board to reference. And here we're pretty much just going to create this like as a sort of agents.md file, but it's just going to be a cheat sheet in terms of like how to actually use the task. You know what I mean? So go to Trello, check the Trello skill, whatever, just basic stuff to the point. It'll use the task support, access it, and do its thing. So we'll just have reference from there. But this is just kind of the cost of working with some of these agents, especially if you're using a cheaper model. But it is what it is. You just have to find a workaround. All right, check this out. I was just doing some tasks to get TikTok developers up so I can post through API to TikTok. I'm just trying to, find some ways how we can post. I know there's platforms to integrate where you can just work through them, whatever, but I'm just trying to be cost efficient, make it for free, whatever. Anyway, I'm looking through my site and I see that the AI, it integrated the trust labels of what other brands are doing for high conversions onto the homepage. I didn't do this. It literally just hard code or just coded into the theme some stuff to improve. Oh crap, I didn't even realize this was sold out. Funny as hell. I was we were advertising this and it's sold out. Funny. Anyway, but yeah, it coded that into the homepage to increase conversions, but it's not in a good location, to be honest. It's like all the way at the bottom. But nonetheless, I mean, this kind of shows you that things can straight up just modify the product pages. So if you ask me, not bad. You know what I mean? That's pretty cool. I would just probably try to get it to like focus up here versus all the way down here. But yeah, nonetheless, I would probably remove the trainer approved, whatever. Also, this is not true. It's another thing we have to modify. And one other thing that's crazy, I was literally about to leave this page and it coded this. It literally just coded this into the store. Like an exit pop-up. That's crazy. But it's definitely off brand. I wonder if it would do anything, you know what I mean? Let me just put in my email and see if it does anything. All right, so unfortunately, after checking my email and doing that, it did not send anything to my email. It didn't even add me as a customer into the store, which is a problem. And yeah, it's just kind of like a BS false signal. I mean, it's still pretty cool, but it didn't hook up to OmniSend or anything like that. So that's kind of problematic and just misleading. So I got to fix that. I got the agent to pretty much update this, right? And the thing that it updates, so it does have access to the theme code and it can do things. So check this out. This is way more on brand. Feels way more in alignment. Now, I don't think the exit thing exists anymore, which is a good sign. The only thing I would just suggest for this is just on the placement side. It doesn't feel like it makes sense here for the placement, but overall not bad, you know what I mean? So win. One thing I just realized I think is going to be way better for my workflow. I created pretty much a server where I can work with my bot, and I think the key thing here is that, you know, it has access to me, so it would only respond to me. So set like the allow list properly. But then what I did here was I pretty much just set up an individual chat for all the cron jobs happening because everything kind of just felt siloed. It was getting lost in the cracks. I didn't like it. That's the problem with Telegram right now. But when you want a more specific workflow, I think it's way better. And I know if some time ago, maybe I said I'm going to move away from Slack and Discord. I was never on Slack, but just Discord. Actually, I'm coming back to it. It makes way more sense, in my opinion. Set up the proper channels, the proper, and then associate the channels with the cron jobs so you can just get the reviews and stuff like that from there from the agent. But it's pretty much there. You know what I mean? I think we want to have like a main chat. We want to be able to chat with the agent from here, have everything organized, and it's just way better versus just having everything in a single thread, which is what we're doing for the longest time. You know what I mean? But I think this is going to make our workflow way better. And progress on today, we're going to see if there was any more sales. So not really. It was just really from what we had earlier today. Not bad. And we spent roughly $40 on ads on a $25 CBO. So the product honestly wasn't pushing more sales after that. Not a good sign. But nonetheless, it is what it is. I actually have a pretty big announcement tomorrow in terms of just direction and how we're going to proceed forward. So that's going to be super exciting. But that's going to be all for the daily log today. And yeah.